Guys, big breaking news coming out. World War III update. Early this morning, Russia launched another attack on Ukraine, firing an estimated 500 up to 650 drones and over 60 missiles. Now, this included up to 55 KH-101 cruise missiles, 8 Kalib, 2 Kinzhal hypersonic missiles, and several KH-59s. Now, these are some very powerful missiles here, guys. Very powerful equipment. Strike targeted Kiev and other territories, surrounding areas. And yeah, we're gonna see what's going on with all this information here, but millions told to shelter in place. So they go to the subway. That's like their underground bunker. All right. So this happened, I think it was like 12 hours ago, but we have all the updates here, guys. And this is a very concerning time that we are living. So we are definitely seeing a buildup of World War III. And this Tuesday, September 30th, there's going to be an urgent meeting in Virginia. Top U.S. general is going to meet up in Virginia, along with the Defense Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, and also the President of the United States is going to be in that meeting. So we are definitely seeing something here, guys, when it comes to nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. And for those of you that want to contribute to the channel, we do have the Cash App link and a PayPal link in the comments box and also description box. Thank you again for your support. Your support is what keeps us on air. Also, giving a thumbs up, that's another way to support the channel. Guys, I just posted a video about the Mormon church in Michigan. Very sad what happened this morning, especially what happened in North Carolina and also in Texas, the casino. These last 16 hours, there's been some crazy stuff that went down. So please be safe out there. If you see something, say something. Again, people just, enjoying their night, enjoying their day, and all of a sudden, someone comes out of nowhere and starts, doing bad things. Now, they are trying to put a law, a GUN law, to stop these events that's going on. But here's the thing, guys. It's not the GUN, the gun. It's not the GUN. That's not the problem. The issue here is sin problem. People are filled with evil and they need to hear the gospel, not given a law. Remember, the Old Testament, the law was not meant to save us. Jesus is the one, the only way. Jesus, is the one that the foreshadowing of the Old Testament into the New Covenant, the gospel of Jesus Christ. Now, Jesus is the way to salvation. He's the one that brings peace. He's the one that bring heal to our salvation. And that's what people needs to hear. Because the law, for some reason, is just not working. It's not. You know how many laws we have in this country? How many of them are being broken? The bear launched hundreds of drones and missiles at Kiev and other parts of Ukraine early on Sunday, taking at least 4 and injuring dozens in one of the most sustained strike on the capital since the full-scale war began. Neighboring Poland closed its airspace near 2 southeastern cities, and its Air Force scrambled jets in response until the danger had passed. Ukraine's military said the bear launched 595 drones and 48 missiles overnight, and its air defenses has taken down 568 drones and 43 missiles. Now that's what you call defense. That's amazing. It noted that the main target of the strike was the capital. Now, the Zelensky said that the strike, which lasted more than 12 hours, wow, damaged a cardiology clinic, factories, and residential buildings. Now, the Bear Defense Ministry said on Sunday it had carried out a massive strike on Ukraine using long range air and sea based weapons and drones to target military infrastructure, including airfields. Man. Give me a second here, guys. Now it says here, yeah, Moscow has denied targeting innocents in its war against Ukraine. Although thousands have been taken out in residential area extensively damaged by its attack, Zelensky urges international partners to act. Zelensky again urged the international community to act decisively to cut off the bare energy revenues that fund its invasion. Ukraine has so far failed to convince the U.S. commander, give me a second here, to convince the U.S. commander to impose punitive sanctions on Moscow. I'm going to have to read the rest of this here, guys. There is a lot of advertisements, and I don't want to get hit with these advertisements. That's the reason why the views are down, because all these crazy advertisements, and the algorithm, they pick that up. So the time for decisive action is long overdue, and we count on a strong response from the U.S., Europe, the G7, and the G20, he said on a Telegram messaging app. Kiev awoke to loud explosions, drones flying overhead, and the air defenses booming. Smoke from one of the strike sites drifted across the morning sky as the air raid alert ended at 9:13 a.m., nearly 7 hours after it began. Man. Reuters journalists visited an area in the suburbs of Kiev. Okay, they keep messing me up with this advertisement stuff, guys. Where rows of nearly built homes were almost totally destroyed and parked cars flattened by falling debris. Yikes. Residents sifted through the wreckage of an apartment block after their windows were hit by the force of a blast. Some people hurried to metro station underground, from where they followed events on their mobile phones. So you have crane defenses stretched by large-scale attack on such a scale, have stretched Ukraine limited air defenses throughout 2025, Zelensky said on Saturday. An additional Patriot missile system from the Holy Land had been deployed, and he expected 2 more to arrive this fall. He and other officials have asked international partners for more to protect Ukraine's skies, but air defense systems are limited in availability, and other nations are keen to booster their defenses amid perceived threat from Russia. Man. All right, so they're getting ready, and the reason why, because of winter. That's why. It gets cold out there. And the Bear, Russia, what they do is they take out their grids. And so once the grid is down, it just gets really cold. And it's hard to, again, when it comes to battle in the winter. Now, the Bear, Russia, they're really good when it comes to dealing with the cold weather, when it comes to war. Once again, it says here, Zelensky says Sunday strikes targeted several regions, including the southern city of Zaporizhia, where authorities said at least 16 injured. Can't forget about the nuclear power plant out there in Zaporizhia has been in a blackout for the past 4 days. Emergency services said at least 4 have passed, while 67 people were reported wounded across the country by local authorities. Among the fatalities, you know what, was a 12 years old, although that has not been officially confirmed. All right, so once again, guys, there's been a lot of strong, powerful operation by Russia to launch its massive drone missiles on Ukraine. I mean, it just not a good thing. Give me 1 second here, guys. I'm gonna have to read the rest of this part. It seems like it's Sunday advertisements. Ukraine says Sunday that Russia pounded the country with hundreds of drones and missiles overnight, wounding at least 10, as neighboring Poland scrambled jets to secure its airspace. Once again, this event came after Russia warned NATO against taking sterner actions in response to alleged incursion into airspace covered by the military alliance. They also followed the revelation by Ukrainian leader Zelensky that Kiev had received a US-made Patriot air defense system from the Holy Land for use against Russian assaults. Give me a second here, guys. Hopefully I don't get hit on this one. Oh, man. Yep. That's going to hurt me. That's definitely going to hurt me. Alright, so the bear launched another massive airstrike on Ukrainian city while people were sleeping. Again, hundreds of drones and missiles destroying residential region and causing casualty. Now, he posted footage of flames bursting from the windows of a multi-story facility, and it says here Kiev mayor said on Telegram that the Ukrainian capital was under a massive assault and urged people to stay in shelters. Now, he said at least 6 have been impacted, wounded as a result of the enemy strike, 5 of whom were treated in hospital and 1 at the scene. The governor of the southeastern Zaporizhia region said Russian strikes there have wounded at least 4. We do have this one here. Andrei, the head of Ukraine's presidential office, accused Moscow of waging a war against civilians. Now, there will be a response to these actions. Oh, there's going to be something here. But the West's economic blows against the bear must also be stronger. Poland's armed forces said on X that they had scrambled fighter jets in its airspace and put ground-based air defense system on high alert in response to the Russian strike in Ukraine. The moves were preventive and aimed at securing Polish airspace and protecting civilians, especially in areas close to Ukraine, the forces said. In recent weeks, several European countries have accused Russia of violating their airspace with drones and fighter jets in what NATO has viewed as the test of its resolve. Once again, Russia has denied, that it is responsible for the incursions or that it plans to strike any NATO nation. Now, speaking during an address at the UN General Assembly in New York on Saturday, Moscow Foreign Minister Sergei said, "Any aggression against my country will be met with a decisive response." So they're basically saying, Russia is saying, those drones, it's not from us. Stop pointing finger at us. That's not our stuff. All right. This might be a false FLAG, but that's not our stuff. And if you guys try to do anything to our planes, then it's going to be game on. It says here, after returning from his own trip to New York, where he also addressed the UN, Zelensky told reporters that the Holy Land Patriot system is operating in Ukraine, adding that Kiev would receive 2 more this fall. All right. So that's basically where we at right now. Mm. So things are looking pretty intense right now between these two countries. And at the same time, Donald, well, it seems like he might follow the same footstep as Joe. I'm giving you weapons. NATO, you have to pay me though. So again, this biblical war is not going to end. And again, a lot of people's not pleased with the U.S. commander. His promise was to end it in 24 hours. He hasn't. And now we are being told that there's a $90 billion mega deal of all these long range and Tomahawk and stuff like that that could go to Ukraine. And yeah, so it seems like this biblical war is not going to end. So it seems like eventually we're going to be dragged into WWE3. And the only way of stopping this is, again, nuclear and stuff like that. But, the consequences to that, well, it's going to take billions and it's going to block the sun. And the crops will be gone and the water will be impacted. The air will be impacted. It's just not going to be the same world anymore. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Share the video, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Check out the video I posted today. The links will be in the comments box. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.